one. Three, two, one. We're going live, going live. Hi, guys, in the Next Level community. Today, I have Dr. Maria Power. She is one of the founding members of this community, and I'm so grateful to bring more and more of the founding members in this community. Maria, you are very, very welcome today. How are you?
I'm doing really well. I'm going to go in your group now too, just to post in the comments.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh,
Let's do
hang
this.
on. Once I post that, I'm going to get out because otherwise, there you go.
Uh,
That's better.
yeah, let's do
We
this.
don't want that to feedback. Yes. Oh my gosh, Ingrida, I'm so excited because the last time when we were talking some time back, you only had a few hundred, 700 people, and now you've got close to 3,000 or 2,500. So
I
we're really
know. Yeah,
build this community and really make a difference, isn't it?
it does make a huge difference. And thank you, the program that I'm using, the Catapult, that helps me to grow. If
Yes.
any of you guys who listening would love to learn more, do let me or Maria as well. Maria is probably the
No,
one
because
of those.
when you let me know about that, that's exactly what I need, right? So we
Yeah.
we didn't connect about that, but now that I know about your community with like 30,000 people and the Catapult program, I'm really
Yeah.
on board with that to go and make sure that our Facebook groups are thriving and that we're collaborating really well, right? Because
Yeah,
that's really the
absolutely.
the gist of all of this.
It's absolutely that's the whole message. So, guys, you're gonna see Maria's group exploding soon as well. Maria, do you want to talk about something that did you say about your podcast or something that you wanna?
Well, well, my podcast, but also my group, because that's what I when we spoke, because
Yeah,
that's why I'm really interested. Because now you've got like 2,500 people. I've been trying to grow this group for a little bit of time, and there's no way I can get to 2,500 people in 2 short months like you have,
yeah.
right?
And do you?
So
Wow. Yeah.
so that's why I'm inviting people as well to join my group because I'm an addiction specialist doctor. And what I do is I specifically look at addiction issues, drugs, whether it's all the steroids. We were talking about that last time.
Yeah.
There's porn,
Yeah.
there's sex addiction,
So
there's
interesting.
gambling, there's alcohol use. And you know what I'm finding is the high level, high net worth people are really going through this because you can imagine, right, with you, how busy you are, how hard it is and how stressful it is to be running a business and having so many people under you and having that responsibility and that message. So it does not only that, the trauma and the burnout as well. So it's like compounding. So
Yeah.
people really need support. High net worth individuals, people like yourself, people that are really doing a lot, not you with addiction. I'm just saying people that own businesses, have practices, and that are helping other people. Burnout is a real thing, you
Oh,
know.
yeah, Maria. Oh my goodness. That is, would you like to touch a little bit on that, on the burnout?
Definitely,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. So, for example, let's just go through the industries, right? So, for doctors and health professionals and healthcare workers and psychiatrists, psychologists, they have such a big, like, emotional pull, right? The pull
Yeah.
of the people that every single day they're talking about trauma and all the different neurosis and all the different issues. So day to day, they talk about that. It does pull in them. So the rates for the people in health professions, especially for opiates and painkillers, it's actually 70, 80%. Can you believe? Of people are going through burnout and using drinking and opiates as a way to cope with the pains and also unresolved past traumas. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
for doctors.
Yeah.
Legal, lawyers, right? Can you imagine the stress being in court? If you're a family lawyer, all you do is all day divorce settlements, watching families break apart, right? If it's criminal lawyer, then it's all, murder, drug use, domestic violence, and things like that. So with lawyers, the rate of alcohol use and also all the different like porn and sex and gambling is also quite high. And
Mm.
so that's that one. And then we have your financial fintech, financial industries, right? Real
Mm.
estate salespeople, high level salespeople. So across the board, the rate of professionals using alcohol and drugs to turn away, to mask the pain, to escape from the pain. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
Absolutely.
that's
Yeah.
very real because of unresolved traumas.
Wow. So
So
deep. Yeah. Yeah.
yes, and I've put in the chat in the group
Yeah.
the podcast because it's targeting, or really the people that I've been working with are APRA registered people with multiple franchises, people that have a big workforce, people that run multiple businesses
Yeah.
across different industries.
Yeah.
And really, when you think about if we can help them,
Mm.
then flow-on effect is greater. Not greater, but
Yeah.
you can imagine one person in that would have through 2, 3,000 clients, right? As well as 20, 30 staff, right? So if
Mm.
they can be the role model, if they can be the embodiment of wellness and be a role model and not have that shame of things in the background that they're doing that they can't tell anyone because of the pressure, then wouldn't the world be a better place?
Yeah, Maria. Oh my goodness. It definitely would. And the link that you put it just in the comments, because the links are always, guys, available external links in the interview style. So that's why we do those events, the interview network, so you can check it out. Could you, Maria, just a little bit on the channel on the YouTube, that what you put it in here, is that some specific message that we want the audience to see?
Well, that particular one is our first episode. So I've been planning this for a long time, but just with time, just with two daughters, with a family, you can imagine, right? It's
Oh, yeah.
and also I want to put my wellness and my self-care and all my self-love things. I really want to put that at the center of this,
Yeah.
because if I don't, then I myself am not able to give back to the community of people with really highly traumatic issues that they're going through.
Yeah.
So the message for that is just the brutal truths about the medical system and how complex the whole addiction thing is, right? Because when someone has addiction issues or issues with escaping and the pain and the trauma, chances are handling, taking a year off work or taking 3 months off work or 6 months off work to just decompose and just kind of look through why the hell is it magnifying the issues in their life and in their businesses. It's very hard to manage that. And guess what, Ingrida? There's only really one way to go and get better from alcohol and drug use, isn't it? It's
Mm.
rehabs. And sometimes rehabs, and I have a lot of intel and a lot of clients that's gone through the medical system and the rehab system, because they
Yeah.
look at the symptom. It's hard to, right? It's hard. The
Mhm.
symptom is there because
Yeah.
it's what the body will do when there's toxic substances or toxic relationships. So the symptom is the last part that we need to handle. The first part is how we relate to each other, how we relate to ourselves, to our wives, to our husbands, to our children, and our presence with everyone around us.
Yeah.
So the medical system, in a way, sometimes excessive, it makes the issue worse, because then they get you to go around and
Yeah.
get your stool checked and get your blood, and it's just continuous, and you're in this disease and pathology system that doesn't give you a break.
Absolutely. Maria, people do know, or they not, maybe they know that the medical system, what they're gonna get. Maybe what they actually lack is that, what's the alternative? Can I, well, your work, what you are doing, and the message that we
Yes.
want to give to people, that is the other way to actually, without being medicated, without
Well,
going.
it's counterintuitive, isn't it? You've
Mm,
got something that you're using, and then you're going to use another substance to try and quell it. It's
yeah.
not really going to be the thing. So the alternative is what we do in our Supercharge Your Recovery community. So we meet 3 times a week. We start the Monday night with the healing, right? So we go into the quantum, we go into the field, and we really go through not only the traumatic events and start clearing it, scientifically proven, by the way, and also from the 5.5 years I spent inside a monastery, where we really went into the veil and looked at the very why people are disconnecting from their mind and their body is because of their soul, and their spirit is not in comfort. Disease, right? So the disease is the last thing that happens, and it's really from our thoughts and from the things that we do. So the healing handles and sets the week straight. And then on Thursday we do the coaching, where we go and do a recovery assets quiz. It's like a 50-point system, and how are you presenting with your community? It's all like positive base. I have a community I belong to. I'm
Yeah.
eating nutrient dense foods. I'm exercising 3 times a week, 20 minutes a day, right? So I have self-care activities. I've celebrated my birthday with joy every year without going and drinking too much, and things like that. Well, it doesn't even say without drinking too much, by putting my recovery as a priority. So
Yeah.
everything is so positive. And if we have a 50 out of 50 score across these 10 dimensions, which is our physical body, our
Mm.
risk taking, our housing and our safety, our meaningful activities, our community and sense of belonging, our mind and our emotional regulation and emotional intelligence. So in the coaching, we use the quiz every month. We see where we're going a little bit no, like if you say yes or no, if it's a no, we handle it and we self-correct so quick, right? Because we meet 3 times a week. So that's the coaching part.
Amazing.
And
Yeah.
then the third day is the breath work. It's the body. So Andrew is a rugby premiership champion. He's a pro boxer. He's working. He's got his six-pack. So he does 100 muscle ups a day. He does a lot of work. So this is when we do body stuff together, right? So
Amazing.
it's a mind, body, soul,
Oh,
three
beautiful.
times a week.
And that's
Yeah.
Maria, is that is pure online, the program that you
That
are
is,
running.
yes. So
And
we've got our own app, and
on the
then we
app.
meet on Zoom and we record everything. And then, we go through the process of spiritual and mind regulation and emotional intelligence sharpening, practical things,
Yeah.
right? The
Oh,
support is there, practical. We're like correcting, it's coaching. So we're correcting, just like we do with the catapult program or anything else, right? When
exactly. Yeah.
we,
Yeah, exactly. We learn from coaches, but also we learn a lot of from each other as a
yes,
students, because we have a community and it feels safe and it feels supported. And I think that's what people need, right, Maria, from your experience? What is it that
yes,
people need?
we need the community. See, I used to do, well, I'm phasing that out. So I used to do one-on-one, right, for
Mm.
good 15 years. So one-on-one is really good. But then what I realize is I'm not only am I saying the same things over and over and over again, 20 times a day,
Yeah.
365 forever, but people don't believe that other people have the problem because the other people aren't there to say, hey, my husband did that. Hey, my wife did that, or my ex did that, or my daughter is doing that now, or my brother is going through that, or my best friend's going through that, or I'm going through this, you see?
It
So
is.
the community, like
Yeah.
the connection is being made, and the
Yeah.
transparency and the authenticity of not putting anyone down, even if they're going through issues themselves. So that
Oh,
really helps.
that is so beautiful. And Maria, did you share the link for that for the community to join you?
I will, because if
Yes,
I go
please.
there, then it'll start the feedback of the sound. But I did share the podcast,
Yeah.
right? The
Yes, you did.
podcast, that's our
Yeah.
first episode. So that's on Spotify and iTunes. And within the podcast, I'll be doing a lot of informational and educational and case studies and things like that. So that's why I'd love to invite you so you can talk about your functional medicine work and why it's so important, because we need to collaborate with heart-centered individuals that their body actually shows the results of what it
Yeah.
is,
Thank
right?
you so much, Maria. So I'm gonna be on Dr. Maria Power podcast at some stage soon.
Yes. Yes, yes.
Collaborating. And guys, if you are also maybe some of you, I know we have a lot of care practitioners as well. So please do connect with Dr. Maria Power and share your experience as well. Because as Maria was
Yes.
saying, we all like heart-centered entrepreneurs, and it's so good to connect and to share the experience and see where we can collaborate, because you never know the new routes. Maria is now with me here in the Next Level Transformation Hub as a founding member. And yeah, and who knows what's the next step for us, Maria?
Oh, I think I know. I think, next level transformation is exactly what's going to happen to these people, right? So you've
Yeah,
got two
that's
and a
the
half
goal.
thousand people that are all heart-centered, that are all collaborative. Like, did you know that my thesis is called Collaborative Peer Recovery Coaching, right?
Wow.
So I coined the whole system. Peer is someone that talks about their lived experience. And in my case, ticked every single addiction and behavioral addiction under the sun. Lucky I'm 12 years clean, but nevertheless, prior to 12 years ago,
Mm.
yep. And we talked about that. So maybe even
Yeah,
I can put the YouTube thing back also of our first
absolutely.
interview.
And we
People
and
might,
we still have a bit of time. So if you would like just to remind so that people can relate to you, that you are
yes,
not just someone who did PhD and then you actually the living proof. To me, when you first time spoke about that, I just actually didn't know that it's even possible. So I'll give you a few minutes to talk about this is
yes.
your experience.
Yes. So for me, I'm 48 now, right? So when I was younger, so I grew up in the Philippines, and really because my mom and my dad were going through their own issues, which now I understand because I'm a parent. But before, of course, I don't understand why my dad is the eldest of 11 brothers and sisters. Why they were always against my mom, saying, "You don't ever go to Australia, don't ever go to your mom." And all this is in the past now. She is very stable. She's 30 years in. I mean, still has a few bits and pieces, but no addiction, quite stable. But before, she was like, yeah, she, she was not a very good example. And she always had, for her, I think it's a sex and a porn, like, she was the mistress for quite a few men, even during she got my dad to even like kind of be part of her, because they got married. I'm for like,
Mhm.
so they got married when I was when they had me when my mom was 36 and my dad was 39. Right. So my mom was already doing her thing, but because she was getting older and she was being like a mistress, she wanted the wedding. She was dreaming about that. So when she
Mhm.
got to my dad, eldest of 11 brothers and sisters, very great family, very traditional, grew up in a farm. And my dad as well, he's 39. He's like, okay. And then my mom's like this beautiful woman, absolutely beautiful. And he was just like stars in his eyes and like, boom, 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 boom. And unfortunately, as toxic dynamics go, my mom's a very narcissistic personality, and just like her whole family revolved around her stuff and the things that she was bringing on. But it's like, I've got the money, I'm putting the money on the table, I'm going to put you through school, but this is what needs to happen. And she started running the shots, and obviously that couldn't stay for long, so she left with my dad's youngest sister's pen pal. So back in those days, you have pen pals, and she intercepted because she's like, oh, well, who's she talking to? Australia. She heard Australia, and she's like, I gotta have this. So she's like, oh, I'm prettier than her, and you'd want to marry me, and this is like my dad's sister that they've been riding for 8 years or something, and said, look, I'm prettier. I'm gonna go there. You're gonna marry me instead.
Mhm.
So you can imagine the type of what she was back then, right? Just that, like, just
Mhm.
need, yeah. So with that, I came here when I was 11 on my own, because she didn't even go to the Philippines to pick me up. She just sent me. She's like, here's the money, get her over here, because her second husband died. So my dad's the first, second is the one that got from my auntie. And then the third one passed away. And she's like, oh, I've got a daughter. I got a bit of money. Let her come here. And then the whole Philippines were like, no. And I'm going, I want to see my mom. I love my mom. Yes, right. So there was a bit of a battle. And then in the end, because she had the money, I was sent to Australia on my own. Like the whole family was going, how can she even not even come here? But money talks. I go on a plane by myself. And then you can imagine, as soon as I hit Australia, she was not available. I was seeing all different men coming to the house, 11 years old.
Mm,
So yeah, that just was a bad recipe back then for things. So I was already doing meth at 14. I was already drinking at 13. I was already dabbling and smoking at 11, 12, right as soon as I got there, because I didn't have a mom. I didn't have a parent. I went from having 11 brothers and sisters all teaching me, like they're very strict. Like I have to go and clean and wash the dish. Like I've got to like do everything. I was, yeah, too many things to do, but that's all right because I learned, right? I was passed
mm,
around to all the different houses and
mm,
I kind of almost like cleaned for my cousins and things like that because I didn't have a mom, and I everyone needed help, and I was more than willing to help. So I was kind of Cinderella in a way, like everyone was getting piano lessons and people were kind
mm.
of rich because
Yeah,
they married well, because they were traditional and they were doing the right thing. So they leveled up and
yeah.
became good places in the company. And I was just like passed around. And then I came to Australia. Mom was just giving me lots of money. So I was buying cigarettes. I was with the wrong crowd. And then by 18, I was working in a place and a triad picked me up from that place, right? And then it was just like
Yeah.
downhill from, yeah,
Yeah.
I was after the
When
triad, there was the
yeah,
Yakuza. I was 18.
you were there. And what was that thing when you realized that's it? I am not gonna be
Should have been at 18, shouldn't it? But
mm,
imagine at 11, you didn't know, you didn't
of
have a
course.
parent figure. So by 18, I was just like following everyone around me. I already left. I was sent back to the Philippines at 14 because I stole something. So my mom's like, I don't, just ship me back to the Philippines. My dad knew a travel agent friend. So I worked at the travel agency, worked for my fare, and then came back to Australia on my own. So when I realized after 11 psychiatric institutionalizations where I was tied to the bed, screaming, like if you can imagine, I think I told you, like
You did, yeah.
beautiful, the Angelina Jolie Girl Interrupted, real like that, right? And just really bad, really, really bad. Nothing I'm proud of, nothing I want to, but I wrote about it because when I was in the monastery, that's what I learned, to forgive myself, to rise above the experiences that I've had, and to learn I needed to be honest and I needed to journal everything and let it all out. And then when I finally did that and someone helped me go through the process, I did a book course. And when I did that, it was such a hit that it went to number one on Amazon. And then in 2022, it was picked up by a TV station in the Philippines, and 30 million people watched it. And
Wow.
if you go, I know MMK Meet Maria, you'll see one had 8 million views, you'll see one had 2 million views, one had 1 million views, because it resonated, because the story of trauma and the inspiration behind, if I could do it, anyone can do it, right? And yeah, so I went all the way, did my bachelor's, did my master's degree in alcohol and other drug studies, majoring in addiction and behavioral addictions, and then went on to do my PhD on collaborative peer recovery coaching. And now we
Maria.
have our community.
Yeah, it's amazing. You see, Maria is just a living proof. It's not like, her own experience. It's just beautiful. And I love you, Maria. It's amazing. And guys, yeah, and if you would love to get in touch with Maria, she left the links in the comments.
Yes.
Um, and Maria, any final thoughts? Because we know we are under the time pressure.
I know, we just wanted to really just talk quickly, right, about
Yeah.
how you invited me to your group and how we're going to really collaborate to get more people
Yes.
going into the group and doing great things together as a community, because we need to. They said that addiction, what do you think is the antithesis or the like what would get someone completely healed from addiction issues? You already said it before. It's community and
Mm,
it's spiritual foundation and a
mm,
community of people with like-minded mind, body, soul kind of purpose and really understanding something beyond our ego and ourselves, something bigger than us, which is our purpose and why we had those experiences. Before that, we got to heal the trauma. This way, before we can get to that place. Yeah.
yeah. And Maria, thank you so much for being here. Not sure why there is this echo thing going on from my side.
Is there a good
Yeah, no, sorry, it's just my side. Guys, thank you so much for watching and thank you so much for being here. And Maria, thank you so much. And we'll see you again because we are here in this group together. And
yes.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys and see you next time. I one sec. Maria, just a quick check. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, oh, oh.